Hey guys, it's SF, and today I promised you guys that once I hit 500 subscribers, I will show you my box in my NA and my JP account. So I did broke 500 subscribers I think a few days ago, and here it is, my box. I don't really know where to start, but the last time I showed my box was February, around February, the beginning of February, and a lot has changed then. I got some more Max Luck monsters, I got more Hatcher monsters, and all the other good stuff. So, in terms of box space, 360, I am overflowed by a bit, but that was from the stream, and I'm very tired now because of the stream. But I'll do that later. It's just mainly because of order guns and stuff like that, not recent. Let's look at in terms of rarity. Let's sort it out in rarity. So a lot of monsters. There's a bunch of order guys, but like some Hatcher monsters, I've gone to one Apollo, which is really good since of her new ascension coming up in JP. Well, it's already up in JP, and then Arthur. I got two Arthurs. I think they're both Hypermax. I'm not sure. I know one's for sure Hypermax. Nope. Not even that one is Hypermax. I think the other one is just like max leveled. And then Oda Nobunaga, her ascension got announced and it's out right now. She's really good as well. And then there's some farmables like Soulwing and Floor and Inani. Three Mustangs. They really love me a lot. I did all three. I evolved them. I max leveled them. Two of them are hypered max. One of them's not. In terms of fruit, this one has a class kin Vigar, and then there's a strike case on the other two. I try to get like class fruits on all three, and then hopefully someday my Mustang team will be complete. And next, Independence, very strong monster. Tiger, key, very typical farmables that you should always keep. Odin's not bad, and then Valkyrie, I was really happy because of the buff. If you don't know about her buff, she gets a no warp gauge shot, and then her strike shot gets a little more power. Before it hits like 700k, now it hits like a million, so it's really strong. And she's hypermax, so someday I might be using her, but I haven't really been farming, running a lot of other NA dungeons besides like when I farm. Right now I'm farming Orduga, I'll show that later on. But Fireworm, Darkworm, very beginner extreme monsters that everyone should keep. Visceron's another beginner monster that everyone should keep. Shumpool, if you haven't seen me use him, I have used him in a number of my videos. Mainly, the main one is of course Kushinada, and then Susano, another good one. He gets a buff in JP about a week ago where his laser becomes one way. His like bump combo becomes a one way laser EL. Next one, Mundus, Hypermax, I think. And then no berry for him because I'm lazy. I don't really run temples that much. But yeah. But I'll talk about like my luck monsters later on. So I'm kind of skipping over like monsters that I've been max lucking. But like I got the Rose Monster Striker, Aura Monster Striker. In terms of the berry for Aura, it is Psychic. That's because it was the only S class fruit that he got after a few rounds. If I get a better one, kind of like if I get like a class fruit or survivor or something to that effect, then I would switch it out for psychic. And then two Izanamis, Surtur, Visceron, Circuit, and my two Beelzebubs. One's evolved, this one's the evolved form. Demon's Bane, no damage wall monster, and immune SS. And then the ascended form, no gravity barrier, and the same immune SS which I used in Yamato Takeru. Some people might think that it's not that great, but they're not that great. It's just that they're good enough. Let's just say they're good enough. They're not like top tier, but if you have nothing else better, then it's a really good pick if you want like a no damage wall monster or a no gravity barrier monster. Next, for these two, Astroth and Lilith, why are they the ascended form? Why? Because I just like art. I just like them for the art. Of course, the evolved versions are more usable or more viable because of the no warp. I just keep these two for as in like eye candy and then collection. Don't judge me. And then Kushinada, two Kushinadas, which is very standard for a better for a solid box. And then Vishnu, Krishna, I kept those two. Next one is Hades, another of my 5-star hatcher monsters. I put him into evolve just because of Muramasa. I do have one in JP, but this guy is perfect for Muramasa in terms of the dungeon itself. So evolve him because you probably won't be using the ascended form unless you're like farming like normal dungeons, because the ascend form is better for normal dungeon farming like the jester tier because of the because of the homing, all the homings and stuff like that. And of course his SS got buffed where his cooldown goes down to like 24, I think. Before it was like 35. Oh, it's down to 28. But yeah, it's very very strong. Typhoon's really good. Inari and the X series, Inari and Nunai Hyung X. I haven't met what's that name? Was it Bahamut? Yeah, Bahamut X. I haven't even meet him yet. That being said, I haven't really run that dungeon that much, so I just run it whenever I go to sleep, whenever they up. So most of the time it's just Inari or Nunai Hyung, and I just quit. I don't really care about like going into those dungeons once I gotten the drops. Next, Eclipse, my first ever 5-star monster. It was my first roll, and it's a luck 7. I rolled him twice, once at luck 5, once at luck 2, I think, if I remember correctly. No damage wall, no warp, meteor strike shot, and EX laser L, very very strong. No able berry because I'm lazy, like I said. Very good for Izanagi. And then Sada, I have 2 Sadas. This girl has class kin strength A. And then this girl has, what does she have? Sidekick A, which is not bad. Sidekick's really good for bump combo. Of course, it's not S level, so yeah. Next one, Hunter King. His berry is a Survivor A, not that bad. Although, of course, it's A level, and I'm pretty sure you know what his uses are. Next to Yamato Takeru 2. Yamato Takeru's, I do recommend at least one. I don't really need to get 2 if you don't really want that. If you just got the drop and don't want to run that dungeon anymore, I just got that one just because of the just because I'm doing videos and stuff like that. And next one is my most recent 6-star monster is Agnamut X. Speed is a little bit off, not maxed, but my super no gravity barrier monster, very very strong monster. Volatile Blast, very good support monster. And next one, Tokugawa Ieyasu. This is the evolved form. Minesweeper, no gravity barrier, all that jazz, and that homing laser combo. What's up next? Tengu, I'll get to those guys later. Izanagi, get 1, at least 1. You probably don't need 2. Next one, Ancient Smydra. Very easy, in my opinion. A lot of people complain that it's very hard to make, but if you have a solid box, then it's not that hard. And of course, they're making some way of you guys max locking him, but that's probably later down in the on the road. And then Princess Sakuya, I don't know how much luck she has. I think it was like 7 or 8. Is that 9? Hypermax, whatever. I didn't run her that much. I know a lot of people just run it like every single day, and then they have like line groups that post up whenever she's up. I didn't really bother with it. Just make a few videos and run it a few times, and then I was done. Next up is Lancelot, which was very helpful in my Izanagi videos, especially with his cutthroat, which is 10%, I think. Is it 10%? 12%. Whoa, 12%, and then very strong. And you can use it in the Yamato gauge to basically one-shot that boss if you're in a good position. But that's mostly of my Hatcher 6 stars. I don't know if I got any on the 5-star level that I haven't really evolved. I'm pretty sure I did all of them. Yeah, I do have like an extra Harley which I haven't bothered to, an extra Harley, which I haven't really bothered to evolve yet. But that's about it. Of course, Dear Lota is one of my favorite monsters if I can find her. 5 star, 5 star, 5 star. Where's my Lota? Where is my Lota? Oh, there she is. But Lota, Kin Speed S. She is a paladin, so there are a lot of paladin monsters, so it's pretty good as just to speed up monsters with it's a Pierce. Never mind. It's a Pierce. I want a class Kin Speed, but 10's not bad. Although I can do better. Like I said, I don't really farm temples that much. But those are basically my hatcher monsters. Now let's look at my luck. I do have a couple of max luck monsters. So I have 10 right now. And then my most recent one is of course Marie Antoinette, which helped me with Oruga. Which is helping me with Oruga. I'm not done Oruga yet. Jack max luck. Very good for Dark Murasame. The dungeon. Tsukuyomi. And then there's a lot of dungeons that is really good. Basically, he can do whatever dungeon Izanami can do, but just a little bit less in terms of damage. He's good for like filling out in terms of taking care of the gimmicks. It's also good for Fenrir, Visceron, and like dungeons like that. Of course, Izanami is better in terms of if you have both of them max luck, then of course choose Izanami. But not a lot of people have an Izanami max luck, so this guy is a good alternative just to deal with the gimmicks. And he's not that bad as a damage source. His strike shot can help clear waves, but just like Izanami, but doesn't do that much damage to the boss, unlike Izanami. Next one, Vanilla. There's a couple of reasons why I did her. First is her dungeon was pretty easy, just one gimmick and no warp, and then I did have a no warp max luck monster to actually farm her. And of course, of her strike shot, the 4-turn strike shot, she becomes a pierce monster, and it comes out every single turn. For her, why I really like that is just that she's more of a support, and that if you have a heart, you just use a strike shot to get that heart, and then do it that way. Of course, you can use that strike shot to position for her bump combo, which is okay strong, but other than that, she's just there for the no damage wall monster. And I don't have much no damage wall max luck, and I think she's my only one so far. Yep, she's my only no damage wall monster. Next one is Tengu. Tengu, just really good for farming. Very good farm monster. And of course, the number one max luck for Yamato Takeru right now. Basilisk might be a little bit better, but Tengu's dungeon is a lot easier than Basilisk in my opinion. But very strong. Of course, strike shot is that spray which can deal damage, but it really depends on your positioning. But main use is normal dungeon farming, like the Tread Lightly series and the Jester series. Of course, you don't braid to the 5 versions, that's why you have like Queen Butterfly and stuff like that. Next one is Krishna, my no warp max luck monster. Giga Blast, very supporty. Relatively low HP, which I don't like that much, but I do keep it as the Ascent instead of the Evolve version just because of the blast combo. I really value blast bump combos more than like an extra Slayer on the Evolve form. The Max Slayer is not that great, and of course there's not many mech bosses besides like Gigamantis and like Kabushido. Of course there are some mech bosses, mech mobs, but that can be dealt with relatively without Krishna's help. And of course the blast does do well with, I used her in Krishnada as a max luck monster. Next one is Surtur. Sprite Slayer L, no gravity barrier, very strong monster, high HP. He's just there for stats, and of course the blast bump, which is really good. Although his dungeon is relatively hard, for a lot of beginners and even for veterans, you might lose sometimes and have to orb and stuff like that. But main uses is of course for his any no gravity barrier dungeon monster where you need some HP because all your other monsters have low HP. Because there are some monsters like Aura that has low HP, ES that has low HP, but Another reason is of course Dark Murasame farming. He is the number one pick for that dungeon in terms of max luck outside of like Izanami, and then of course for Light Murasame, he is top pick for that as well. So basically for Murasame, this basically just for Murasame, I made a Surtur max luck. Next one is Junior. There's not very much why I did it. It's just because I just kind of played enough to actually did it. But he was my first hyper. Well, I won't say he was my first hypermax. He might be, but I don't remember. But I did the really long way. But that was because what I did first week was my first week of Monster Strike was me creating my Luck 90 Dragon, which I finished in like day 2 or 3, and then the rest was just farming normal dungeons because there weren't like extreme dungeons out there out that at that time. So I just like plus farm, and fed it all to Strike Junior, and I did the legit way. I didn't like plus transfer, not because I didn't know about plus transferring. It's just that I just did it because why not, and I had the time. And next one is Duskull, just a regular good monster. No gravity barrier, blast bomb, high HP, strong stretcher for a 13 turn. Basically, you can hit 10 about 800k in 13 turns. Although he is slow, but it's not bad either. Next one, Queen Butterfly, another common max luck, flight, no gravity barrier, perfect for Izanami as a max luck monster. There's not much to say about that, and of course, Darkworm is probably one of the easiest max luck to do, and especially when before NA did like a 12-hour fest, like just put up Darkworm for 12 hours straight for people to max luck. Fiendslayer L, perfect for Surtur, so I used Darkworm as a max luck slot for Surtur, and then I think that's about it in terms of max lucking. And then Strike Shot is pretty strong, not that strong, and Bomb Call is not that strong, but Fiendslayer L is pretty good for Surtur and a lot of other dungeons. Now there are some that are work in progress. Soul Wing 96. I could have made it to max, but I skipped like 2 sessions because I overslept or was too lazy. But why putting Soul Wing? Why I'm making Soul Wing is just because this dungeon is easy, and of course, Soul Wing X, the dark version, is a lot. It's a really good monster as a max luck because of his light resist. So he takes 25% less damage than the light monster, and he has high stats as well, no gravity barrier, and then like of course attribute differences are minimal, especially with he can take less like damage than other dark, unlike other monsters like Death's Coil, which was really good. And next one is of course Oruga. Oruga's right now is luck 60, and after the stream I did farm 2 hours, and I think I have 23 right here. So right now it's 83. I'll probably be finished by the time I'll probably be finished when you watch this video, just because of the sessions coming up very soon, and then stuff like that. And then the rest are just like really random. I didn't my Tiger's at luck 38 just because I was helping a friend max luck her, but the rest are pretty much there just from me running dungeons and stuff like that. But that's pretty much it for NA in terms of my box. If you have any questions or you want me to talk about why I keep my 5-star monsters, is just that I just do. They do have some niche uses, and for me just making videos, it makes me want to keep them in terms of showing that they do have a use. And just because some people don't have all the monsters that I have, or monsters that people recommend, so that's why I want to search for alternatives and not just make videos just with the most OP monsters in the game and stuff like that. I just want to make videos that is more feasible, as well as making different team comps for you guys to kind of see if, oh, he used this kind of monster, but I have this monster, but it's kind of like the one that he used on the video, so maybe I can probably use my monster to beat that dungeon and stuff like that. So that's why I keep some of my 5-star. I keep all my 5-star monsters. So that's why my box is kind of huge 360, but I know a lot of people that have bigger ones. But that's pretty much it for my NA box. I hope you guys like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.